Delgado. They're all stars. Delgado grounds to second. Roberto Alomar bobbles the ball not once but twice. Raul Mondesi would score. Not an error for Robbie, but he does have 8 on the year, 2 more than he had last year already. 7-4 Blue Jays. All of a sudden, Russell Branyan, his 11th homer in just 77 at-bats. Best at-bats per homer ratio in the majors. His 11th of the year, 8-7 tried. Alomar, the liner, it drops. Russell Branyan and Sandy Alomar Jr. would score. Alomar 1 for 5 with 2 ribbies, 12-7 Indians. 13-7 went Jim Thome. Not an all-star, but he contributes. 2 for 3, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, 2 walks. Indians win despite allowing a season-high 10 walks in this game. That's 2 straight wins since Cleveland skipper Charlie Manuel removed the ping pong table and 2 leather couches from the clubhouse. Said Russell Branyan, can we get our couches back now? The Jays just 3-6 on their current road trip with
Twins. Pedro Martinez stretching out for his comeback. Jeff Fassero making his comeback off the DL. Matt Lott going to right. Bernard Gilkey tries to get something on it. They say he trapped the ball. Jason Maxwell. Joe Canizaro score. Twins go 4-2. Fassero chased out. Jeff Fry taking Mark Redmond to left. First homer since June 14th of 1999. Scores tied at 4. We're in the 3rd. Troy Hawkins throwing 2 on, 2 out, 6-4 score. Mark Hatterberg. That's into the empty seats. 4th of the year. Red Sox leading at 9-4. Middle of the 3rd. Twins in the dugout. Tom Kelly telling him to prepare for the 7th inning stretch, and apparently Pedro thought it was awful. Red Sox win at 11-8.
Frank Thomas, an RBI situation. Up the middle. 2 for 5 was Frank, 1 RBI. Sox up 2-0. We go to extras, bottom 11, bases full. Sox bring in 5 infielders for the all-star in Mike Sweeney. Sweeney, ground ball. Ray Durham steps on second, throw to first, the double play. Sweeney was 3 for 6 with 1 run scored. Sox end the inning. 3-3 game, 13th, Herbert Perry for the love of the long ball. His 5th home run of the year. Perry 3 for 5 with 2 RBI. Chicago finds a way. The final in 13, 6-3. Chicago wins for the 26th time in 33 games. Ray Sanchez with his 8th career 4-hit game for the Royals.
St. Louis had a chance to grab a 10-game division lead on Wednesday night. Their last 10-game lead came in September 1968. When I say they, I mean the Cardinals, because St. Louis is not plural. Pat Henkin wasn't even born yet at that time, so he can't be made responsible for whatever it is you're going to try to accuse him of. He was the St. Louis starter seeking his 3rd straight win. Jim Edmonds would be of no help. Edmonds was home with the flu. And the Reds center fielder Ken Griffey Jr., he didn't start. He was in the clubhouse and described as sick by the team. Here we go to the play. Bottom of 1, no score. Pete Harnish is throwing. Slow windup. Delivery. Edgar Renteria to 3rd. Aaron Boone wings it over to 1st, but up and high. Air on Boone. Renteria would score on a 2-out single. Now we're in the bottom of the 2nd. Henkin the bloop to short. Boone trying to avoid Barry Larkin, who made the play, and Boone had to leave with a hyperextended left knee. We're in the 7th inning. Cards up 3-1. 1 on for Sean Casey, and that is over some fencing they've set up in the outfield. A 2-run home run, tied at 3. Casey's 5th of the year. Bottom of 7, Sean Dunston pinch hitting for Henkin. I am king of the diamond. Let there be an abundant clubhouse feast. The pinch hit homer, putting the Cards up 4-3. Dunston's 8th homer of the year. Harnish has a terrible mitt. He trades it in. Top of the 8th. Matt Morris throwing. Eddie Toppins, he goes to the right side. Fernando Vina, the best fielding second baseman of the majors this year. He makes the play. The 9th inning, the infirmary nurse had cleared Kenneth to come out. Our guys say there was something more to the story. Here's Dave Barnett, Rick Sutcliffe.
We weren't sure if we would see him after he was a late scratch from the lineup. In emotional turmoil before the game, but Ken Griffey, who has not been evident in the dugout at any point tonight, has come out to lead off the 9th inning and pinch hit for Pokey Reese against Matt Morris. Upset by a number of things that have just built to a boil all year. And apparently pushed over the edge today by a story in the local paper that had him jealous of some of the attention on, among other places, SportsCenter that's been accorded to Jim Edmonds, a story he vehemently denies. very emotional conversation with you before the game, but he comes out with a chance to tie it in the 9th inning.
And you know, that's where an article in the newspaper can create a response like he just got. About 10% of the people here booing him. How do you boo Ken Griffey Jr.?
The 2-2 pitch to Kenneth. For our sake, it's a good thing Edmonds didn't make the catch. Griffey flies out to left. The Cardinals win it by a count of 4-3. The Cards have their 10-game lead, having won 17 of the last 22. The Reds going backwards. They dropped 19 to 28. Henkin on the good side of 500. He's 7-6. Matched his longest work of the season, 7 innings. And Sean Dunston now 3 for 17 as a pinch hitter this season, but 2 of those hits are home runs. More from St. Louis now. The men who called the game: Dave Barnett, Rick Sutcliffe.
Kenny, the St. Louis Cardinals have a double-digit lead in the standings for the first time in any season since the magical year of 1968, the year of the pitcher. We had a pitcher's duel tonight. We had no Ken Griffey Jr. in the starting lineup for Cincinnati, which meant even a smaller margin for error, and 2 costly errors really hurt Cincinnati.
Yeah, right. When you think things cannot get any worse for Cincinnati, they do. Griffey Jr. not in the lineup tonight. A couple of errors led to a couple of runs, which ended up being the difference in the ball game. But rather than saying that Cincinnati gave the game away, you got to give St. Louis a lot of credit. This team has surrounded Mark McGwire with a supporting cast that is for real. And when you think about him coming over in July of '97, he's hit 197 home runs since then. But you know what? As a team, they're 18 games under 500. So Big Mac needs some help, and tonight he got that help off the bat of Sean Dunston and off the arm of Pat Henkin.
The pinch home run to lead off the 7th by Dunston makes a winner of the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, they are 46-0 this year, leading after 8 innings. 17th save of the year by Veers to finish it off. 50th win of the year for the Cardinals. 4-3 the final here at Busch. Kenny.
Alou, 2 runners on, bottom of the 3rd. Alou goes far with it. It's a home run even. Jose Lima in the dugout in much better spirits, dancing around excited. Astros go up 6-4. Tony Womack at the plate. Same score. We're in the 8th. Make that we're in the 7th. Womack singles to right. Danny Klassen comes to score. Diamondbacks go up by a count of 9-8, so I guess it wasn't the same score going into that play, was it? Bottom of 7, bases loaded. Alou facing Vicente Padilla to Womack. The 6-4-3 double play. Diamondbacks out of the inning. Luis Gonzalez leading off the Diamondbacks, still up 9-8. Drills it to right, and he's fast. Chula off the wall, and he is racing on in for a triple. Diamondbacks would add a couple, go up 11-8. Needs a home run for the cycle, does Gonzalez, in the 9th. Home run. Gonzalez completes the cycle, and the Diamondbacks win it by a count of 12-9. Coming back on this one, Gonzalez.
Still a Cub. Will Cordero off Scott Downs. Cordero homered twice in this game, a career-high 6 RBIs. Downs allowed 7 runs in 4 innings. Bottom 3, same score, Jimmy Anderson. In place of Chris Benson, who had the flu. Anderson getting some help from his D, as in Pat Mears, robbing Ricky Gutierrez with a great barehanded play. Pirates go on to the victory. Will Cordero, his first multi-homer game since April 29th of 1998. In fact, Cordero now has 3 homers in his last 5 at-bats. The Cubs fall to a season where 17 games under 500. Jimmy Anderson, he wins for the first time in 9 starts.
Phillies and Brewers, this could be interesting. Charlie Hayes facing Randy Wolf, a runner at first. Hayes going to left. Ron Gant back after it. Times it, yanks it home. You check it out again to see how Czechoslovakian women 18-40 feel. Good catch, 5th inning, 1-0. Mike Lieberthal up, 2 on. And everybody in. 3-run home run. Homer number 13 for Lieberthal. 4-0 Phils. Winners by 5-2. The Phillies are on a season-high 5-game win streak. Oakland at Texas. The A's losers in 6 of the last 7. First inning. Mark Mulder on the mound. Rusty Greer the chopper to second. Mulder covers as he should. Tagged the bag as he should. Called safe. They rule an error on Mulder. Could have been an out. Should have been an out. And then the floodgates open. Rafi Palmeiro, the single to center. Pudge Rodriguez, sac fly to right. David Segui took a walk. Chad Curtis, he's going to left, the RBI double. Gabe Kapler intentionally walked. They shouldn't be intentionally walking people at this point. Mike Lamb, 2-run single. It's awful. Scott Sheldon going to right. Giambi should have it. Newbie didn't have it. Kapler and Lambeau score. 6-0 Rangers. A 7-run inning. Not good. The Rangers win it by a count of 9-4. 7 unearned runs given up by Oakland in the first inning. And that there was the pad to pull off a 3-game sweep. The A's have dumped 7 of 8. 5 straight losses in there already. Oh. Brian Cooper against Alex Rodriguez. Home. Run. 23rd of the season. Mariners out early. It's 2-0. 5th inning. Tied at 2. A-Rod. Es un grande hombre. 2nd of the game. Solo this time. 24th of the year. 3-2 Mariners. 6-3 Mariners. Darren Erstad in the 6th facing John Halama. 2 out. Erstad, chopper to 2nd. Mark McLemore should have it. Newby couldn't get it. Ben Molina comes to score. 6-4 the Mariners. Next batter, Benji Gill. Brett Tomko throwing. This time popped up. McLemore. He's okay. Ad-lib score. Mariners win it by a count of 6-4.
3-game lead over the Mets heading into this game against the Expos. Bobby Cox, he will manage the All-Star team for the NL. Base is empty for Chipper Jones. Off of Javier Vasquez, 451 feet away was that shot. The second longest homer ever at Turner. 1-0 Atlanta. Bottom 6 were tied. Runners on the corners, 2 out. Bobby Cox does not pinch hit for Kevin Millwood. So Millwood strikes out against Vasquez. We're tied at 3. Top 7. Expos up 4-3. 2 on for Vladimir Guerrero. An all-star. 3 for 4 was Guerrero in this game. Jose Vidra would score. The Expos go up 5-3. Bottom 7. Braves with runners on 1st and 3rd. For the big cat, Andres Galarraga. Good to see him on the NL All-Star team. Right here, he grounds into the 5-4-3 double play. And this looks scary in the end. Galarraga would fall down, but he'd be okay. And the Expos were still up 5-3. Bottom 9, Gildy Overas did hit a home run to make it 6-4. Then it's Chipper time. Again. 22nd home run of the year, his 16th multi-homer game of his career. Expos now up only 6-5. 2 outs. Andres Galarraga, big spot against Steve Klein. Can't even find it. Doesn't know where it is, and the Expos hang on to win. Vlad Guerrero and Jose Vidra combined to go 5 for 8 with 3 runs and 3 RBI. Marlins, Mets. New York looking to avoid being swept. Mike Piazza looking to make something happen. Off of Chuck Smith. RBI single, number 72 for the All-Star. 2 for 4 was Piazza and an RBI. 1-0 New York. Top 3, Benny Agbayani. Bases full. Benny, 3 for 5. That drops Piazza and Todd Zeile would score. 5-1 Mets. 3 unearned runs in the 3rd for the Mets. For Chuck Smith, who's still winless, the 30-year-old rookie on the mound. Mike Hampton facing Cliff Floyd. Gets some look. And next batter, Hampton. Can't even remember that this guy started 2-4 on the year. He's been going well as Mike Hampton. 5-1 Mets, 2 men on, Derek Bell. Second 3-run homer in as many days, his 12th of the year. And the Mets go on to crush the Marlins. Hampton wins for the 6th time in 7 decisions. He also posted his second 3-hit game of his career. Mike Hampton is now hitting .318. Can he play shortstop? Throwing the
Scott Brocious. Big plate of meat. 3-run homer, 8th of the season. Yanks are out front 3-0. 5th inning, 1 on, 1 out. Yanks still up 3-0. Andy Pettit against Mark Lewis into the hole. Derek Jeter gets after it. Good throw across to get the force out at second. The U.S. Navy planning for our invasion of Switzerland. On the 6th, 2 on, 2 out. Darren Holmes pitching. Paul O'Neill down the line. Vizcaíno comes to score. Jeter going to try to beat the throw home. And he did. Yanks up 10-0. Win it 12-6. So the Yanks break up their 5-game home losing streak. Hadn't lost 6 in a row at home since August of '89. Pettit got his 9th win of the season by going 6 shutout innings. He left
on the corners, trailing 1-0. Bobby Smith at the plate. And Smith likes the view. Down the line, Dean Palmer, great stop. Guns it to Rob Fick. Look out. Smith collides with Fick. Both players would be hurt. More on that in a bit. Scored tied at 1, Jeff Weaver, Ozzie Guillen. Guillen, you didn't think he had it in him, did you? 2 for 4, 2 RBI. Devil Rays go on for the victory. D-Rays win despite going 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They stopped the Tigers' win streak at 5. Now that on Todd Hundley. Simply not scared of heights. His 16th home run of the year. This is a 3-run home run, tying the game at 5. Top of the A, still tied at 5. Eric Karros facing Matt Whiteside, and Karros says, Matt, it's not you, it's all me. Karros Rios, 2 for 3, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. He's hitting .260. That was his 24th of the year, and the Dodgers win. So much for the slump. Dodgers score all 7 of their runs on 4 homers. They rally from a 5-run deficit. Hundley, 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. He has 12 homers in his last 24 games. San Diego's lost 6 of 9. Giants still without All-Star Barry Bonds, hosting the Rockies, looking for a 5th straight win. That's pretty. Joe Nathan, Jeffrey Hammonds. Hammonds, not an All-Star. Despite 64 RBIs in just 60 games, he's in with a stand-up double. Armando Rios having trouble with that wall. Rios is hurt. Misjudged the whole wall thing. Take another look. Must have been that big sign. Still wants to stay in. He's a trooper. Tried to take a practice throw, did Rios, but he would go down in pain. He would eventually leave the game. Bottom 7, Stan Belinda, Rich Aurelia out of the island and into the highway. He's for his 8th home run of the year. Giants now up 3-2. Nefi Perez steps in. 1 on, 2 outs. Perez, the blooper. Rich Aurelia, the Brooklyn native. Nice running catch. Game over. Giants win. This marked the 2nd time this year Joe Nathan has beaten the Giants at Pac Bell, allowing